All right, the controversy around rules allowing transgender athletes to perform in girls' sports continues at the Illinois State House, with the Republicans looking to, as they say, protect girls in girls' sports, and those pushing back saying that it's such a small number of individuals who are trans wanting to play in sports that it shouldn't be this big of an issue. It is Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop on this Friday. Reminder, get the headlines in your inbox where you'll see this story and so many others at thecentersquare.com. So you go there, check out the Illinois page, and click on newsletter, and you'll be able to sign up and get that newsletter in your inbox. Kevin Bessler put this story together. Controversy growing over rule to allow transgender athletes to play in girls' sports. I was able to chat with State Representative Kelly Cassidy briefly yesterday at the State House to get her response as well. But you've got the ongoing debate, especially as the Illinois High School Association recently announced that it would not comply with President Donald Trump's executive order to keep trans athletes out of girls' sports. The board president of the IHSA said that his organization finds itself in an untenable position as it seeks to clarify conflicting directions from state officials and the Trump administration. This has even gotten to the point where, State Representative Blaine Wilhauer is calling for the IHSA to testify in front of a House committee. Whether or not Democrats are going to go along with that, we shall see. You also have Congresswoman Mary Miller. She says that the DOJ and the Department of Education federally have to investigate this as well, as Maine, the state of Maine, faces lawsuits from the Trump administration about funding and whether or not they're going to comply with Trump's orders prohibiting biological males from competing in biological female sports. So the Republicans at the State House have held several news conferences about this. Most recently, they held one yesterday where they highlighted legislation that they say will protect girls in women's sports. And I talked with State Representative Kelly Cassidy, a Democrat from Chicago, to get her thoughts on this. This is a hot button issue, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. Here's what she had to say in response to that.
Ultimately, it's important to remember that we are talking about 3 trans athletes in the state of Illinois. And what's even more important is that those 3 trans athletes are children. They are human children who are being targeted by these grown adults who are obsessed with children's genitals. It's that simple. There are no documented cases of any student ever being harassed by a trans athlete in the locker room. Every school follows Illinois law, makes it possible for folks who are uncomfortable to select another place to change. This is a red herring. They are just obsessed with kids' genitals. Who are they proposing would police the presence of these children? Literally, they are advocating for sexual assault, because that's what it is to inspect a child's genitals.
So Cassidy, ardent supporter of trans children and trans people, has been pushing back against Republicans on this. Now, obviously, Republicans are in the super minority in the House, and Democrats have the super majority. So when Republicans do propose measures like this, they're not likely to advance at the State House. But that didn't keep them from taking a podium yesterday and talking about this. And they had State Representative Regan Deering there from Decatur, a Republican, and State Representative Tom Weber from Fox Lake, a Republican. And they were there with the Wheeler sisters, and in particular, Caitlin Wheeler, a collegiate swimmer whose young sister had an incident at the YMCA last year or the year before, where an adult person born a man dressing as a woman was allowed in the female locker room while these high schoolers were preparing for swim practice. And it was traumatizing, and they've shared their story. But Caitlin Wheeler, the older sister, saying that this whole idea of there's only 3 trans athletes in Illinois, well, what number should it be to when you've got the outcomes in some of these cases, not just in Illinois but across the country, problematic for girls?
One girl is one too many. How many does it take to be exploited in locker rooms, violated in locker rooms, have their opportunities taken away in their sports? How many? Give me a number. 3, 10, 100?
What number is it that's going to raise enough concern to have some action as the opponents of trans athletes in girls sports say that there's a public safety aspect, there's a decency aspect, there's the issue of performing to be able to get the eye of colleges for scholarships and such. So there's a whole host of concerns that they have. Tom Weber, he talked about his legislation to require that it's clearly labeled that there's men's sports, girls sports, and co-ed sports. So will that measure advance? Not likely. But he talked about, again, how this, the idea of, well, there's only 3 athletes in the state of Illinois that identify as trans.
There's going to be a lot of lawsuits over the next couple of years regarding those issues and others. And when you say the locker, sports, maybe there's 3 athletes that people know of in the state of Illinois. I've had numerous reports in regards to bathrooms and locker rooms, because those aren't the ones that are reported. Until a parent gets so frustrated, so scared, that they risk losing all their friends, risk the hatred, to come forward and speak out. That's the only time we hear about it. It's not a one-off.
It's not, and we'll hear more of this. Obviously, it's an issue that's got national attention as states like Illinois continue forward with allowing trans athletes in girls' sports and spaces against the Trump administration's executive order. Now, executive orders, what are they? They are just merely statements that the executive's putting out, but it does indicate a clear agenda that he's looking for Congress to do. So what's going to happen over the next 3.5 years? We'll be watching. It's Illinois in Focus Daily. I'm Greg Bishop. And another thing we're going to have to be watching, of course, is the financial impact, right? Because if the U.S. Department of Education starts rattling down and another agency gets the money, responsibility to send to states, are they going to say, you're not complying with federal law on trans sports? We're not going to give you any money for your schools. Is that going to happen? We got a month here before the end of the May, and how the budget's going to be impacted. There's going to be a lot of things to drop between now and then, so we'll be watching. That's why you need to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell and wake up with us here each and every weekday morning with Illinois in Focus Daily on YouTube with the Center Square.